Flickin Off episode 19, baby. 19. We're almost to 20. Last episode we did Nocturnal Animals, Tom Ford, the Designer King, his second movie that he made. Really, really good stuff. Me and Jacob loved the last episode, and the link from last episode to this episode is the great Aaron Taylor Johnson. Left somewhat of a hint last episode. I said it was my favorite performance. Jacob went with Michael Shannon. And for this one, I chose the movie Savages, baby. 2012, directed by Oliver Stone. You don't know who Oliver Stone is. He did Platoon. He wrote the screenplay for Scarface. So all you Scarface fans out there, this is that guy. Like he got into more political drama, TV shows and whatnot.
Dude, let me list off some of his credits, right?
Go
and this
ahead,
isn't
man.
even
List
all
them
of
all.
them, but this is crazy, dude. He's got Platoon, Wall Street, Talk Radio, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, JFK, Natural Born Killers, World Trade Center, W, and Snowden. And that's not
He
even
was
all of
crazy.
them, dude. Those are
No,
just
I
like
know.
the bangers. I mean, it's crazy, dude.
There's so many more. And this movie, I picked this movie just because at the time of Oliver Stone's career, and a lot of these actors and actresses just kind of was like, and it wasn't a box office smash. Let's just get that out the way. It did good. You know, it was successful.
It got its
But
money.
It was modest, right? Like
Yeah.
it didn't go crazy, but it did develop sort of a cult following. And a lot of the actors and actresses that were in this movie are now, like, you know, there are some names that were already the shit before this movie, but like Blake Lively, Taylor Kitsch, even Aaron Taylor Johnson at this point. I think Aaron Taylor was only known for Kick-Ass series too. I think he did both the Kick-Ass movies that did really well and something else. I forget.
Okay. I noticed he was listed in the credits up front as Aaron Johnson, right?
Right.
And it didn't have the
this
Taylor in it. And I didn't look into that.
I didn't look
I'm
into that
remembering
either.
it right now as we're doing the podcast, but
I didn't look into it either. But he was doing okay. He was just, you know, Hollywood was grooming him at this point. Let's just say that.
Be careful.
Well, all right.
I'm
you know what
joking.
I mean.
I'm joking.
But Taylor Kitsch, on the other hand, he had one massive flop in John Carter, Disney's John Carter. For those that don't remember that.
Dude, it's a strange movie, man. I don't watch
Right.
many Disney movies, but I turned that one on one day, and dude, that's a wild movie. It's a strange
you know, watching it now, it's good, but like it's like you said, it was weird. People really didn't latch onto it. We don't want to get into the flop details. I don't know too much about it because we're doing Savages, but
yeah.
he coming into this movie, that had already happened, I think, in the year 2000. And it was just a massive flop. And then he did this movie Battleship, which again wasn't the greatest. So when he casted Taylor Kitsch, it was just I don't want to say it's a risk because I think Taylor Kitsch is great given the right role. And this certainly was a great role for him. But it's, you know, not only that, Blake Lively at the Gossip Girl, you know, she wasn't heavily known for doing, you know, big movies and being one of the lead roles. What really put her over the top was the role she had in Town, which is kind of strange because Town, she had such a small role, but it was just such a different role. She played this junkie as composed. Like, she just was fit for this role in Savages. I mean, she plays the California girl like no other. And yeah, it's just I like this movie. I like the time period of this movie. And it's just one of those crazy crime dramas, man, that I don't think everyone has seen, or if they have, they don't really remember it, but it always stuck out to me. And there's a ton of great performances in it, man. I mean, because I was really worried about what Jacob would feel going into this, because it is one of those, like, over the top crime dramas, you know?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell the audience basically what I told you. I mean, I liked this movie. I thought it was good. It's, got a 6.4 IMDb. I think that's a
That's
fair
right.
rating. I know
Fair,
you'd
yeah.
probably bump it up,
I
but
would for sure.
I think the 6.4 was a good one for me.
I
You
would
know,
say 7.6, 7.7 for me,
You
honestly.
mentioned, you thought I might find some parts corny. Sure, I thought there were a couple corny parts, but they were meant to be, and it's like it fit the movie. It's what it's
Right.
supposed to be. Some of the lovemaking scenes and some of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
like it's the way it's filmed. It's meant to
Dude,
be
even
over the top. I mean, it's
even
meant to be,
the narration by Blake Lively during the film was a little corny too, and, like, that one line speaking to the sex scenes where she goes, "I have orgasms, he has wargasms," and, it's just there's
Dude,
some
some of her
stuff
narration is wild, like, it
wild,
is it
right?
is it is crazy. I will say the one thing I did keep thinking the whole time was why Oliver Stone, because this didn't seem like something like a movie he needed to make, right? And maybe he didn't need to be the director to make it. But I thought about it later and I was like, everybody needs a break. I was like, he does all these like serious political things. And also, while this is a fun movie, it's called Savages for a reason because there's
Right.
some real savagery in this movie. And there were two cuts on Amazon Prime, an unrated cut that was about 5 or 10 minutes longer. And so that was the version I watched. And I don't know what the main differences are, but I mean, pretty early on in this movie, there's a cartel chainsaw beheading scene, and you see the aftermath. And I was like, okay, all right, they're
Yeah,
going for it
it's in
here.
your
They're
face
going
early.
for it. So while it's a fun movie and it's got some comedy and some laughs, it's serious too.
Well, to note on to what you were saying about Oliver Stone, like him taking this massive turn. I mean, I read and saw a couple of interviews he had gave, and one of the things he said in it, and just to speak on to what you said, like, because it is like Oliver Stone did this, like what the fuck? But he wrote the screenplay for Scarface, and what's interesting about Savages is he actually wrote the screenplay with the author of the book that it was
Mm,
adapted from. I
yes.
that's
A
not
Don Winslow. Yep.
that's not typical. You don't typically have the director, especially someone like Oliver Stone, co-writing with the author of the book that it's being adapted from. That's not a normal thing, and I think it really worked for this film. I think it's a big reason the film is what it is, which is a really good watch. But to go on to what Oliver Stone in this massive turn, he even said in a couple interviews that he wanted to get back into that stuff. Like he was, just getting bored with all the political stuff that he was doing at that part of his career. And he was like, you know what? I want to, pull up my sleeves and get back to what made me. And that was what this movie was for him. It wasn't a passion project. Me and Jacob, for the listeners, I hope we got a lot of people that have been listening, more than just the past couple episodes, but we do a lot of passion projects. And I'm kind of glad. I was a little worried that this might be another passion project, but reading more into it, it's just he wanted to get back to his roots. He wanted to do something different, like you were saying, because he was really just, I think this was when did W come out? Because W was
I didn't actually write the
I
years,
didn't
I
write
just
that
wrote a
down either.
list, I can't
But
remember.
W
I
was
wanna
like,
say, like, '09 or '08,
right.
you know.
And when we were speaking about the narration, that was heavily criticized when this movie came out. Like, Blake Lively, this movie didn't like a lot of folks say they'll be like, I think Savages made Blake Lively. That's what took her over the top. And I'm like, no, no, no. That's not what took her over the top. Town certainly took her over the top as far as I'm concerned. And this role, she was really criticized, even if you go on IMDb and look at some of the, because I always do go on IMDb for when we do a movie and I look at like what everyone is saying or like, why it was split and the narration, the love triangle in this
Yeah.
movie. was
Sometimes
heavily
people
criticized.
criticize the character instead of the actress, and they don't
Right.
realize that they're criticizing the character. I've done it before, and you realize that, like, look, if this isn't what the director wanted, he could have told her to do something else, right? But
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't. So, when people say that, it's like, yeah, are you sure it's not the director? Because sometimes you see, like, a good actor get directed by a shit director, and
Right.
all of a sudden they're not as good anymore. So, sometimes it really is about the choices. I mean, I like this movie again, I hate to use this word again, but it has a tone to it, and it fits that tone and it stays
Yeah.
with it throughout the movie. And for anybody who hasn't seen this movie, obviously we're going to be spoiling it. Like, the main crux of this movie is you got two pot dealers who are in a thruple with a woman played by Blake Lively, and she gets kidnapped
A love
by
triangle. No, not everyone's gonna know what that means.
well, but no, a love triangle, I get that that is a term that more people may know, but that's not really what it is, because when people think of a love triangle, they usually think about not everybody knows they're in the love triangle.
Could we say polygamy?
Polygamy, you mean?
Polygamy, my bad.
I mean, I guess you could. But anyway, they're all three in a relationship together in a way, right? And the
They
two
sleep
guys
with
have
each
been
other.
best friends since at least high school, because I know they mentioned high school, right?
Yeah, they met in high school, yeah.
Yeah. So, but
One was
basically,
a war
she
veteran, the
gets
other one
kidnapped by the cartel, and that's the main crux of the story, right? Is trying to
they're
get
trying to
her.
get their girlfriend back,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the main deal of the story. And the villains, you've got a great set.
but
You've got Benicio del
Benicio del
Toro
Toro,
kills it.
Lotto, was the
His
character he
boss is
played.
Selma Hayek.
Hayek, yeah, she was
Yeah.
incredible. And you get a
Yes.
different tone for a cartel boss with Salma in this, like,
Yes.
she had more of an emotional side. She wasn't just this giant, cartel boss, very scary, very dominant. Like, she had an emotional side in this scene. They kidnap her daughter at the end, and you see like it. This movie was
While you're on that, I want to go ahead and just dip into that, right? Because there were some scenes that were supposedly cut that had Uma Thurman in it. And Uma Thurman was playing Blake Lively's mother, the mother that
oh
she's
yeah.
calling, right? And there were scenes when Blake Lively, O, her character is named O, is captured by the crime boss, Elena, where they're sort of developing a friendship or relationship. They're like watching reality TV together, talking about men and relationships, and yes, with life stuff. And it really made me think, my wife and I were talking about it, like, it makes you think that she related Selma's character somehow to her mother, and that if we had seen the scenes with Uma, we probably would have realized that she was similar to Selma Hayek's character in some ways, and that's why Blake Lively related to her. But it was an interesting it was just an interesting thing that, like, it didn't have to be in the movie, but it really made it a little bit deeper.
Emotionally confrontational. Like, Oliver Stone pushed all of the cast into very emotional, confrontational situations on purpose.
Yeah.
I read that a lot too, and that was a very interesting. I mean, this movie is good. It's kind of shocking that it wasn't. I think what really messed it up was her sleeping with both of them and the narration, I think, too. I think that's what really didn't it could have been better in my opinion. And just a hint on that too, she almost didn't get this role. I read Jennifer
Dude, there was a
Lawrence.
lot of people considered for this role.
Well,
Would you
I
say Jennifer Lawrence? Yeah,
I
she
read
was.
Jennifer Lawrence was
Yeah.
like really really close to getting this out of everyone else
Dude,
that
she
was
was cast
considered.
from what I heard. Like, she got offered the Hunger Games.
Right.
And I'm like, "Dude, she made the right move."
Right.
I
No,
mean, The
she did.
Hunger Games blew Jennifer Lawrence skyrocketed her
That's I mean,
career.
and yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
the
massive. So, like
huge studio movie too. It was nothing like what this Oliver Stone production was gonna be. I mean, I would have
yes.
loved to see Jennifer in this role though, but I think Blake Lively is Ophelia. I think this role was meant for her. If you're a believer in fate, like I would say that. I
You
mean,
know,
she did good.
you
I
want
thought
somebody that's a little bit messy, like and she is in a
she
way,
is a
it
little,
works.
yeah.
You know, I know there's some drama around her real life. I usually stay away from that stuff.
Oh, a
I don't
ton
know a
right
lot
now.
about it, but I was like it made me wonder as I was watching this movie, like, you know, how close is she to this character? Sometimes actresses or actors will say, like, "This is nothing like me," and other times they're like, "I'm just sorta being myself,
Well,
reading the
that's
lines."
like,
Yeah.
I was watching this interview with Ryan Reynolds, and he's married to Blake Lively for the listeners, and he was in the kitchen. I forget who was giving the interview. I wanna say Ellen DeGeneres, but I don't think that's who it was. But they were talking about parenting, and they kept asking Ryan about, family backgrounds and stuff like, what does your family think of the marriage? Like, do y'all get along? Do y'all's family get along? And they got to the point where it was like, would you ever let, you know, Blake spend time with her family alone? Something like that came in the conversation. Ron Rose like, her family? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Like, and he even made like a joke and was really like adamant about it. So yeah, I think Blake is just a free spirit naturally in real life, and sometimes that may come off as a little brash, but this whole thing that she's caught up in now is just court crazy. I mean, I think both cases got dropped recently. I'm not too caught
Yeah.
up on all that, but it is wild. I mean, but to this, like when she did this role, this wasn't the one that pushed her over the top. I think this is the one that landed her that role in the town. And I think after the town, that's when you saw that movie Adeline, The Age of Adeline, and she was in a couple other big ones as well. But she's a good actress, and I thought she did really well in this movie for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. We were talking before the pod, and I don't know, I think I mentioned it already. I think Benicio was probably my favorite, but
Oh,
everybody did a good job.
I, I read
He just
he made people uncomfortable the entire set. He never broke character during the production. Like it reading that makes me happy. I mean, because he was already huge when he did this role.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought
Yeah.
Lotto, man, that was a role, man. That guy, and especially the scene where he forces himself on Blake Lively while she was drugged and he
Yeah.
filmed it and showed her like it was eerie stuff, man. This movie was like the last movie we did, Nocturnal Animals. It's kind of hard to watch in some of these scenes for sure.
It is, but what was interesting is that, like, overall, it still comes across as, like, kind of a fun movie,
Right.
like a summer blockbuster you'd go see in the theater.
And the ending was real happy go lucky too. Yeah.
This is another one of those movies that I I'm gonna put in the camp of, I bet if this had come out 10 years earlier, it would have been a hit. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? Like, like, I don't know if there had just been a whole crux of things coming out. I don't know, because sometimes you get, like, a bunch of gangster movies back to back, or you have something like that happens, and some get lost in the shuffle because it's just, like, too many
I
kind
think
of the same thing come out around the same time.
it's hard to say this one got lost in the shuffle or what this really did to me because I think a lot of people did see it, but I don't hear too much
Oh,
about it like ever, you know?
no, I mean, I remember I've seen the cover a billion times because 'cause it's been on a bunch of the streaming services before in the
Right.
past,
Yeah.
but, like
And fucking John Travolta's in this movie, guys. I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah, and I love his character in this. I love the way he plays it.
The acting was great. I mean, from all roles, even the small ones, to me, it was just, and that speaks to Oliver Stone, I think. I think he was
Dude,
really involved.
there's a we've mentioned all the main people, but I wanna go ahead and just well, there's a couple big people we didn't mention. One big person, Damian Bashir's, but also you have Emile Hirsch, Ali Wong, the comedian, was in it, and I read that was actually, like, her on-screen debut.
Oh,
Uh,
for real?
yeah, and one of my favorites, Joel David Moore. A
Damian
lot of
Bashir did play the snitch. He was the guy that they
yes,
framed.
yes. And Joel David Moore, I mean, he's an Avatar, but, he's done a ton of other stuff. I
He
mean,
was
one
in
of the classics
Grandma's
is
Boy.
Grandma's Boy. I knew you were
Grandma's
gonna
Boy,
say it,
man.
dude.
That was a
Yes,
hell of a role for him.
it
Hell of a
was.
role.
It's funny, dude.
Who
Classic
played the
lines from
accountant?
him.
He's really big too. Yeah, Emil Hirsch.
Emile Hirsch, yeah, that was
He
the
played
first one I named.
he
Yeah,
played the
he's big
accountant.
too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
those 3, I was like, "Wow, okay." So, like, you know
That's another reason I picked this movie. I mean, because the way we know at Flicking Off, we link every episode to the next, however the fuck we want. It could be anything, and this is one of those movies that's got a little bit of everything. I mean, as far as casting, as far as like
Yes.
what movies other actors and the producers and directors have done. Like this is like a fucking Pandora's box for Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, now one thing I will say, like, every now and again, you gotta, like, nitpick something. Dude, some of the weed plants in these facilities looked so fake, so plastic.
Oh, for the movie, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is I was like, "Man, why did they do that?" Then when I was researching it, the production designer actually, he had, like, 300 real marijuana plants lined up, like,
Yeah, I didn't
they
know what you're
had
talking about. They didn't look that fake. I
yeah,
mean,
I thought they did. Anyway, the, there was some shit that went down where basically production was told, like, "Hey, we
you
can't
can't.
use real plants." And so then they had to get fake plants made, and they used real ones for references, and they did really good. There's a couple
Yeah, it
scenes
didn't
where I couldn't tell, but there were a couple where it
you
was
could
up
tell,
close,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Oh, this looks so
Mm.
plastic and fake." Also, I'm like, it's in California. A lot of this movie was shot in California. It's legal there. I'm like, why couldn't they use real plants? Let me see if I can find, like, if it says actually why they couldn't. But, I thought
This
that
was
was
an
crazy.
exciting movie though, you thought, right? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
when
and
I
it
was
kinda
in it, when I was watching it, I was excited. Like, I was like, "What what's gonna happen?"
edge of your seat kinda sometimes, even like, during the ending was pretty crazy, man, and
Yeah,
the rewind.
the last third of the movie, where we start getting into some of the, like, twists and turns, because like any crime thriller, there's gonna be, like, twists and turns and double
Yeah,
crosses and backstabs, right? We won't get into all those little details, but they worked, and they were
it's
good,
good.
and some
Yeah.
of them you didn't see coming. Like, sometimes you can telegraph them, and we telegraphed some of them, but some of them definitely didn't see coming.
And it wasn't so over the top that it was unbelievable. Like, I loved how they set up this movie. I thought it was aesthetically pleasing when they're going over the beach and they're introducing the characters, and, Ophelia's giving her narration. But the way that they introduced the characters, they gave the backstory to Taylor Kitsch's character, Chon, like how he was he was I think he was the special forces or a marine some sort, and then you got the backstory with um
How he gets the seeds for their farm and
well, Aaron Taylor, yeah, like he gets the seeds from Afghanistan, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, he went to like a prestigious school. He majored in business and botany, so he knows how to grow. And like they showed like their clinics and him dealing with the account. Like it was really well done. And I remember when this movie came out and watching it as as a teenager, like it keeps you engaged. You don't look away, you don't want to go pee, you got to pause it. Like it was, I thought it was really good. And it's kind
the,
of weird. you don't hear more about it.
The differences in character of the brothers is really cool because Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is a little bit more hippy dippy, kind of
Right.
free love kind of character. And then you've got Taylor Kitsch as the ex-war vet. You see pretty early in the movie, like, he's got a violent
He's
streak to him. He's
he's the
got, like,
muscle.
a little bit of a madman
Yeah.
streak in him. So that's cool because it works in this whole idea of them being, like, you know, in a three-person relationship too, because you were talking about some of the corny lines, like, she says one time, like, they make one complete man or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was
And that's a
sort of
hard
a cool
split when you do stuff like that that hasn't it's not typically the plot, where one woman is in a relationship with two men, but it's a big part of the story
if
because
this
when
had been the typical movie, she would have been sleeping on one behind the other's back, and then they would have found out, and then the two guys who've been best friends forever would have hated each other for about a third of the movie, and then they would come back together to
and that's
save the girl, but
corny,
they
like
didn't do that, and that was cool.
I like this way. Yeah, I thought it worked well, and like when they kidnapped it made it hit more for the audience. It was like, oh shit, like these dudes are gonna do whatever. Shit's about to get crazy. Like I
Yeah,
thought the writing was good, man. And to see that he wrote it with the author of the book that it was adapted from, that's even more cool. I love shit like that. And
yeah.
I think it made the movie better, honestly. But man, the editing was solid. The the
Cinematography is beautiful. It's
all
yeah.
yeah, the fight scenes, the gunfire scenes, like, all of that stuff is top notch to me. Even when, like, because sometimes it's not done great, or they won't even film the bullet going in, but, like, when Benicio del Toro, which shout out to who played the lawyer that they went in his house and killed him and his girl. I forget his name, but he's a big actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's certainly been in, like, at least 3 or 4 of the movies that we have done. You know who I'm talking about?
Is
It's the
that the
guy.
guy they shoot in the knees?
Yeah, both times they shoot him in the knee
I
twice.
can't remember who that guy was. I
I don't
wrote a note about that though because it was interesting. Like Benicio is like,
Well, the camera
if I
doesn't
shoot you in
leave.
one, you'll age by like 10 years. If I
Yeah.
shoot you in the other, you age by 20. So it was like,
I read Benicio did a lot of improv too, like, he wasn't always on script for the majority of the role that he filmed for the movie. I think he was man, he plays that role so well, and his hair, man, like, all the crazy mullet he went with just fucking works, man. I mean, it works really well. But like I was getting to, when he shoots him in the knee, the camera's on it. You see the blood splatter. You see it hit the floor. He's dragging. Like, I thought that stuff was really done well. Even the beheading scene where they send the video of them beheading, and it's brutal to watch. Like, it's in your face. It's not one of those that kind of hides it and, like, cuts away to, a dramatic look on someone's face after the bullet or the gun goes off.
yeah.
This was like them filming the actual action.
And the title is really fitting
Right.
early in the movie. I mean, obviously, because it came from this book, right? And the way this book is written, I mean, it's good material. Like the idea of early on, there's the beheading scene, and our two main weed dealers are like, "Hey, these people are savages, right?"
Right.
And then midway through the movie, Benicio del Toro is talking in his car. They're riding, and he's talking about the relationship between
Yeah.
these people and
And
what's
how they're
going on.
sleeping with the same
And he
chick.
goes, "They're
Fucking
savages."
savages.
Like, yeah, like, like, and then the ending, which we'll get to soon, it wraps it up. It bookends it with talking about savages. So,
And that's good
that,
writing. I mean,
yeah,
even the conflict of the cartel wanting their business and their community, their network. I thought that was good writing, man. Like, that's like a story you hear and you're like, Interesting. Okay, they're that big. Damn, like, they're growing the best weed in the world. Like, and the whole dialogue between John Travolta's character who plays this dirty cop that keeps him under the radar, all that dialogue between them, Taylor Kitsch, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson, it was really good, man. I mean, I just watching it again and me being where I'm at in my life now, it's like it's solid writing, man. And shout out to Taylor Kitsch because he needed a win at this point in his career, man. He really did. And I'm glad it worked out for him. He was one of my favorite characters in the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that character a lot.
So
Yeah,
should we get into the
I'm
ending?
we can, but I just want to say I am shocked that you enjoyed this movie so much. Not even more so your wife Amy. Shout out to Amy, number
Yes.
one, number one fan, one of the coolest women I've ever met. But the fact that she liked it more than you were telling me,
Yeah, I
that's
think she it probably edged out my enjoyment by just a little bit. Like I was surprised too, because like you said, sometimes that relationship thing might have thrown her off at the beginning, and then it's hard to get into it. You know what I mean?
right.
And then you don't really give it a chance. But no, uh, she enjoyed it. We both went along for the ride, and it gets to the ending, and there's one of these fake endings, right? And at that point, she was like, "Ooh,"
Right.
and
And
I
it was
was too, because I
brutal.
had to rewind it because I was like writing some notes, and I was
You
like,
had
"What
to
just?"
rewind it.
Because I was
That's
like,
funny.
I was like, "What just happened?" Because it sort of happens quickly, you know what I mean? Like the fake ending part of it, and I guess the long and short of it is, like, at the end, there's sort of like a three-way ritualistic suicide, basically,
Right.
at the end, and then it's like, "Nope, that's not what happened," and then
And the way
so
they did it was I shout out to Oliver Stone because the way it hits the scratch and it rewinds completely, Ophelia's narration comes back. You're like, as an audience, you're like, "Oh, thank God, man," because that was a little fucking
yeah,
much.
they sort of lay down together, it's almost like our thumbnail, they're just, like, laying
Yeah.
there,
For those of the listeners, we'll spoil the fucking ending for you. It's crazy. It basically everyone dies. They get in this shootout because their girlfriend gets kidnapped, their quote unquote love triangle, love of their life by the cartel. And in return, they go off and find out that the cartel leader's daughter lives in Los Angeles. They go to her school, I believe, inside her dorm room and kidnap her as well. They send this video. They're like, we want Ophelia back, daughter for Ophelia, exchange, meet here. They end up shooting it at this like helicopter launch pad in the middle of nowhere, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's a shootout. The shootout's crazy. Everyone ends up getting shot and they're laying on the ground dying. I think Taylor Kitsch's character, because again, he's like this badass, army ranger type, and he pulls out the adrenaline and he's like, we're done. And they end up dying. And right when that happens, you get a skirt, and then the Ophelia's voice. Now this would be crazy if this happened, right? And then screw it, rewinds the whole thing and they show you what really ends up happening,
Yes.
which is I'll let you finish.
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot now. You know
Well,
this
they end
movie,
up
like, way better than me, you describe it.
well, look, they end up everything goes right. I think they get away and everything Hollywood right way, the way
Yeah,
Hollywood does.
Benicio dies, Selma
Right.
dies, her daughter gets away.
They
All the
get
people
off,
you want to live, live, and all the
live
people you
like,
want
yeah.
to die, die,
It's
pretty
the
much.
fairy tale ending, so to speak.
And it wraps it up with a beautiful narration about what savages are, the definition of savages, and, like,
Right.
how they live their life like beautiful savages is what they
Right,
say.
right, right. It's a good film. I'm glad we did it. I think there's a lot of people out there that are interested in this film. I want to make sure we already talked about the box office, but again, the the reason I chose this film was because Oliver Stone took a turn at this point in his career. and a lot of the actors and actresses that were hired or casted for this role, they all did great, and it was a really well written script. Some of the roles and some of the scenes were not rehearsed on purpose, like the emotional stuff between Ophelia and Benicio del Toro or Blake Lively, and like it's just a great film. I mean, for where these actors and actresses, especially the three main leading roles, like they really went off and did their own thing and found their feet in the game. And kudos to them. This is one of those, like, this was before they did all this. And I think that's kind of the reason it gets forgotten. I know there's a cult following. I know there's people out there that got it in their collection, got it on their shelves, and I really loved this movie growing up. I thought it was one of the more uh good movies that I'd seen in the theater when we were all actually going to the theater. Speaking going to the theater, did you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, well, we both, recently went to see the Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, and
The Whole Bloody
sat in the
Affair,
theater for
baby.
basically almost 5 hours between the runtime and the intermission, and I don't know if it's like your theater's like mine, but they play like 20 minutes of commercials and trailers and
Oh yeah,
junk
no, it
before
was
the
just like
movie.
that. Oh yeah.
Um, so it was
Wait, let me
really
ask you this. Were you the only ones in the theater?
No, that has happened to us recently. Surprisingly, this thing was almost sold out. I mean, it was a
Wow.
lot of people there. It was on a
I was
Sunday
the
afternoon.
only one in the
I've
theater.
seen some posts online of people having that same experience, but
It was I mean, like, I get it because, like, it was only shown twice the day that I went, which was
yes.
yesterday. It was Monday, and there was only 2 showings. One was at, I think, early 11 or 2, I wanna say 2, and then there was another one at 7:45, and I was alone in the theater until, like, 15 minutes in, and this couple comes in, they sit down, and, I'm trying to watch the movie. You can tell, like, they're not really here for the movie, and they're like, I can hear the girl bitching at him like, "This is a 4-hour movie? You didn't tell me it was 4 hours." They chit chat for about
Oh
30
my
minutes.
god.
Right, they chit chat for a little, like, 30 minutes, I wanna say, like, "I wanna go," like, "I don't wanna be here," like, "I can't believe you brought me to this shit," and they end up leaving, and then I was the only one watching it for the last, like, 3 hours of it, but, what'd you think, man? Like, do you appreciate it more seeing it the way it was supposed to be seen? Did you
I
notice
did
all of
because
the extra stuff?
I did notice the extra stuff because I've seen this enough that it sort of burned into my brain a little bit, and I think I caught pretty much most of the extra stuff. It was a lot of it was in the animated sequence, and then there was some stuff right
I did
before the intermission
What did you
that
think about the animated sequence?
I think it's in the movie, the one that's in the movie, right? Not
Yeah.
the Fortnite junk that's, like, at
No,
the
the
end.
one
Okay.
that was when we because the one that was showed right before the ending of the first one, like,
Yeah, or near that, yeah,
near the ending. I
I
don't think it
always
does.
liked it. It's longer, obviously, in this version than in the
Yeah.
original, and I remember in the original being, like, especially when it first came out, when I was first seeing it the first few times, being like, and this is longer than I would have thought. Like, he's not just using it as a gimmick, like it's a full scene. So in this movie, it's like even longer. It's like a whole 20 minutes of the movie or something is just
I I
animated.
was
And I
I was
thought that was
frustrated with
good.
that. I was
Really?
frustrated with it, like, I don't what did like, I, as a viewer, have to really think to make it connect, because Kill Bill is already shot in a very abstract way. So, for me as a viewer, I'm
Well,
trying
he's
to, like,
using all the tropes of Hong Kong cinema, Asian cinema, like kung fu cinema throughout the film. All the different kinds of zooms and snaps, all of it
is
are
that what this
homages to the films that he loved that are, those kind of movies. So, obviously he loves anime. He must, or he wouldn't have put this whole sequence in his movie. So
It
to
was
me, it makes
long.
perfect
It
sense.
was like
If this
15
was in the
minutes.
middle of the Hateful Eight, I would be like, okay, this doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't tie in. Kill Bill, it totally makes sense to me. I get it if it's not your thing, and you're like, it throws off the pacing or
I
whatever. But
understand that Quentin, that's what this movie was. It was like his version of all the favorite Tokyo films that he enjoyed growing up. So he wanted to make his own version of it. Like, I totally understand that. My thing is, I just think the cartoon was like, why not just film that whole thing? Like, I don't, for it's just like you're watching a like, what did it have to do? I don't even really truly understand what it had to do with the whole story
well,
and
because you're learning like how
the
Oren
backstory.
Ishii has turned into this crime boss, how she's like ascended to power over time. So
That
it
is my
starts off with her childhood.
that is my favorite part of the entire Kill Bill series. So I think that's another reason it kind of like pushed me the wrong way, was just like, I love when she was going after that boss, and like just the way like she keeps sending, first it's these thugs and then that girl and then it's more of the thugs and then you finally
Yeah,
get
the
that
big
scene when
battle
they fight.
sequence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
love that, man. That was like one of my favorite parts of the movie, and just the cartoon just was a little much. I smoked a cigarette for like, because I got to the point where I was just like, all right, I get it. Like, I just wish if he was gonna do anything, I wish he would have filmed that with Lucy Liu and like or like another character that looked like her but younger, and they
Yeah.
filmed that whole thing as opposed to me getting this, because I'm not a big anime fan. I mean,
I'm not
it's
an
not.
anime fan at all. Eh, I don't have anything against it. I just have never
I
been
don't
able
have
to get
anything
into
against
it.
it either.
And in this movie, I think it works. For me, I mean, I love Quentin Tarantino. I love everything he does. So
I
like
love him too.
it's a little bit of dick riding, right? I get that. Like I love the guy, right? But like I was a little bit trepidatious of like going into the theater and sitting there for that long. I've sat through some really long movies.
Right.
I even went to his roadshow version of The Hateful Eight, and that had an intermission in it, right?
I
That
did
was a really
too.
long thing.
Yeah.
But this was way longer, right?
Yeah.
And so I was a little bit like, what's
It's
that gonna
3
be like?
movies.
And well, 2 movies. But
Well, yeah, but I thought, didn't volume 2, like, it was a 2-hour movie as well, like, it was
yeah,
like,
yeah, they're 2 full movies. I mean, they're
right.
2 long movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why I said 3, you're
So
right, yeah, yeah.
I was a little worried, but then when it was done, I was like, "Wow, that was more satisfying than I thought it would be." Anytime I watch Kill Bill 1, usually it's on the weekend, right? And we'll watch both of them in the same day, maybe sometimes one on Saturday, one on Sunday, right? So you're seeing both of them pretty much back to back. But it actually did work on a different level where you just watched them as one long thing when it got to the end sequence because, you were talking about your favorite part. My favorite part is the whole part that takes place in Michael Madsen's trailer near the end, not right before they get to Bill, basically. The scene where Elle comes and wants to buy the Hanzo sword and has the money and the Black Mamba, and then she comes and takes them out, like, that whole sequence to me is, like, perfect. It's just I love it.
Rest in peace, man, I believe he passed
Yeah,
away
he
recently.
did. Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Madsen.
Michael Madsen, man, and he was phenomenal in Kill Bill. I agree with you. I I remember watching Kill Bill 2 and going, I kinda forgot. I didn't forget, but you definitely need to, like, it's meant to be one movie, clearly. Seeing it last
Yeah.
night, I understand why he didn't wanna make it to what you were saying earlier. I never knew that knowledge until we were doing that podcast episode, but yeah, I remember seeing 2 and going like, "Well, I it's good," but, like, I didn't, I wasn't but seeing it with the intermission and then coming back and understanding the weight of the characters emotionally and like it even the chapel scene, man, it's kind of wild. I enjoyed it. I really
Well,
did.
I mean, Kill Bill 1 is 20 years old at this point, right? And that's
Right.
when he shot it, right? So, I was a little like it's weird. You'll know this phenomenon too. There's a phenomenon over time that happens where you're watching a movie and then one day you watch it and it looks a little older. And you're like, "Oh, wow,
Right.
this looks a
I
little
felt
older now," right? And that didn't happen with this. Aside from a couple scenes, I was shocked. I was like, "This does not look 20 years old." There were a couple parts, but it just looks so damn good.
I wouldn't say that it looked old to me like how you were
Yeah.
describing it, but with the actors, when I saw the actors and actresses, especially Uma Thurman, I
Yes,
mean, you
yes,
go, "Wow, this movie's old." Like,
yes,
because and, Michael Madsen had passed recently. When he passed, he didn't look like that. I mean,
yes. Yeah, you're right.
Lucy Liu doesn't look like that anymore, I mean,
Yeah,
that's the only thing that made me think, like, "This is old." You're right. It's and God, it's Quentin Tarantino. It was shot so fucking brilliantly. I love the close-ups, the quick snap editing, and
yeah,
dude, this one scene and seeing it in the theater really does it way more justice than sitting on the
yes,
couch and watching it, especially the opening scene to one where Vivica A. Fox and Uma
yeah,
Thurman are fighting, and she's in the kitchen, and she does the fake gun in the cereal box, like, she actually shoots the camera, so to speak, and, man, it was really like, "Whoa," like, "Holy shit." Like, when she fires the gun through the cereal box, it's really
yeah,
shocking and surprising, and, man, that was like, your heart starts racing and
yeah,
the girl comes in. It was really good stuff, man. I
yeah.
mean, a lot of feet in this movie, though. I forgot how much feet were in this fucking movie, dude. I
Well,
mean,
it
come
is
on,
Quentin
Quentin,
Tarantino,
chill with the
right?
feet, dog. Like, I mean, I know I could literally,
I was
like,
shocked too because
there's
there's
a
I think more than any other movie, like,
right.
there's just it's
Way
like
too many
bam, bam, bam.
close-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, a little weird, but I'm glad I went to go see it. I'm glad they did this. I think
Yes,
and,
yes.
from s I think it's all about timing for the viewers. If you're gonna go see this, look, first of all, if you like Quentin Tarantino, you never seen Kill Bill, go to the theater and watch it.
Yeah, go see this
It's
version.
really
Yeah.
fucking good. I mean, the you get the bass from the seats, and you see the all the great music that's in this film, which that whistling part where the nurse
Oh,
is
yeah.
whistling going into, I read that she was just doing that casually while she was on set, and Quentin was like, "You're doing that for the scene. That's what I want you to whistle and do for
Yeah,
the scene." And he put that song in there,
yeah.
and then it, like, fades into the
Well, because
song, and it
RZA took it and, like, yeah,
oh,
went
so
went
many
hard
artists
with
did,
it.
man. There's so
Yeah.
many. I
Well,
forget
RZA
there's
did the
another.
soundtrack for the Kill Bill.
Right, right.
So, yeah,
But a lot of rappers use that whistle. They sampled
yes.
it for, like,
Yes.
there's a big famous song. I think his name is Ill Bill. I'm not actually, I don't wanna speak out of turn. I don't know his name, but he did there's this huge song. I say if you're into cinema and you love it and you got the time to kill, go see it. I saw it at 7:45 PM. I was out of the theater by, like, 11 something, so, but yeah. Enough of all that motherfucking shit. I think it's time to get in that motherfucking hype train. Boom,
Uh.
baby. Fucking A. Jacob, why don't you go first? Why don't you go first
Alright.
for me?
I've got a sequel pick here. This is, Ready or Not 2. Alright, little
Ooh.
survival horror that featured Samara Weaving. I can't even remember when the first one came out. I wanna say 2019 because it was right before the pandemic.
What's it?
I
It's
actually went to the
say the name again. It's
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. That's right.
Yeah, this is the sequel, Ready or Not 2, Here We Come.
Ready or Not came out in 2019.
Yeah. Okay, my
Yeah.
guess was correct, yes. This one They haven't locked down the release date yet, but the expected date on the calendar is April 10th, 2026. They dropped the trailer. It looks awesome. IMDb plot. After surviving one deadly game, Grace and her sister Faith must now outrun four rival families competing for a powerful throne. Winner takes all. So, if you saw Ready or Not, this looks like the same thing, but different cast of characters that she's battling, and it looks great. I mean, I already said Samara Weaving. Some of the other casts, we got Catherine Newton, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Kevin Durand, Elijah Wood, Sean Hatosi, and I even saw a little cameo by the master of body horror, David Cronenberg, which I was like, oh, shit, he's gonna be in Ready or Not too? That's crazy. So
I don't think I've seen Ready or Not. Like, is it? I've never seen Ready or
it's
Not.
like
Is
a
it a
comedy
horror?
horror. Yeah, yeah. Just watch a trailer for it. You'll see exactly the premise. It's written by Guy Busick and R. Christopher Murphy and directed by Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette. And so this crew of writer and directors is the same guys that did the first one. So they're all coming back. The original got a 6.8 on IMDb. So people who liked it saw it. I don't know how big of a box office success it was. You asked how successful it was. I'm not sure, but people liked it that saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a 6.8, almost got a
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
shit.
and Samara Weaving, she's just been killing it in a lot of horror stuff. She's like sort of a modern version of like the classic Scream Queen, sort of with a twist. Like
She's
she's been in
beautiful.
Ash versus Evil Dead, Mayhem, The Babysitter, Ready or Not, Guns Akimbo, The Babysitter 2, Killer Queen, and she was in Scream 6. So those are just some of the big horrors that she's been in, but she's been in some other stuff. I'm like, this girl is killing it. So yeah, that's my hype train. Ready or Not 2, here we come. Expected April 2026.
Nice. Man, I kind of want to do I have a couple of I made a list cuz I'm tired of like frantically searching for upcoming movies. So I just got a list I choose from. But since
Yes.
you are talking about I don't know what I want to do now. It's you're talking about Samara Weaving. Let's see if she's in this.
So
She
while you're doing
is.
that for the viewers, you might have noticed I changed my display over my head here. So yeah, gave
Got
you
his
guys something
favorites
new to
pushed up
look at.
front. Got
Yeah,
the
threw some
alien.
box
Yeah.
sets up there and stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna start filling up a bookcase with all the movies we do shortly. But Samara Weaving isn't in the hype train pick I'll do for next episode. So I'm gonna go with my hype train pick, and it's 28 Days, Bone Temple. It's coming out January 16th, 2026. So we got a year before we go. But I thought it was interesting that, this one, the new one just came out. We were just talking about it like right before we started the podcast. I
Well, not a
forget.
year. It's coming out in a few weeks, right?
No, it says 2020. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. It is coming out in another week. That's right. I keep messing up the years, but man, I'm really hyped for this considering the ending to the last one.
They
Really,
got me curious. They got me curious. That's for sure.
they better have I mean, like, this is one of those make or break movies, in my opinion. I mean, when you go from, I don't want to spoil it for those where I
Who
don't want to
haven't
start
seen it
spoiling
yet.
the hype trains too. So if you haven't been following 28 years
Years
later,
later.
or,
Yeah.
the 28 days or day 28, these are very cult classic followed movies that were in the 2000s, early 2000s, I think, right? Or
Yep.
was it the late yeah, it was early 2000s, but they recently brought it back, and Aaron Taylor Johnson was in the new one, and mixed reviews, hard split for a lot of fans of the series. I mean, I did not like the new one that came out because of the ending, but what did you think of it? Because I know you saw it as well. I think we both saw it. Look, guys, even before we did the podcast, this is what we did. We'd like see
What
movies and talk
what's
on the
sad
phone.
is I didn't I didn't enjoy it in the theater as much as I wanted to. On the flip side of that, though, I have found myself thinking about the movie a lot.
Me too.
And what's
That's yeah.
interesting about that is when that's happened in the past and I haven't liked it, and then I thought about it a lot, and then I went back and watched it, I ended up liking it. Now, this is on streaming services, and I have the opportunity to watch it.
What's it streaming on now? I wanna give it a rewatch.
I think it's on Netflix right now, 28
Really? I gotta
years
check
later,
that out.
yeah.
Netflix is cracking right now. They
It's
got a lot
either
of good stuff.
Netflix or Max, well, one of the 2, but, like, um,
It hits you different. It's
I'm gonna give
different
it a
take.
few more months, or if I decide to go to the theater and see Bone Temple, I'll probably rewatch it before I go to see Bone Temple. The Bone Temple was one of my favorite parts of the movie, so the fact that this movie is called Bone
Bone
Temple,
Temple, right.
hopefully you're gonna get a lot of Bone Temple, right? So
Right. Well, so there's a new director. It's gonna be directed by Nia
yes.
DaCosta, not the original director, so I guess we gotta expect a new vibe. Alex Garland, he's gonna write the screenplay again, of course. I mean, this
Mhm.
is I believe he wrote all of them, right? This
Yeah,
was
and my understanding is that they shot a lot of this around the same time that he was that's why it's coming out so closely to
so
that
it's already
movie,
done. Alright, yeah,
is
yeah,
that they
yeah.
worked on it at the same time with a different director, and then there's supposed to be a part 3 that either will or won't come out depending on how successful this one is, which makes me a little trepidatious because I hate to think that this means that if this one doesn't work, it could just leave on an unfinished story. Now, the
Well,
last one was so successful, I think a lot of people will go out to see this
they
enough that
got
they'll
to.
make
You
the
the
third
with
one.
that kind of fucking ending, you if you saw like you gotta go. Like that's why they did it. Like they know we're coming back. They're like, all right, you gotta explain yourself. Okay. I mean, I think that this one is gonna be the new one that's coming out. It's not gonna be steeped so much in horror and jump scares. It seems like it's got a lot of psychological tension, especially with that ending that we had from I think it's 28 years later, right? Is the one that
Yes.
recently just came out.
Yes.
But I'm hyped for it, man. I mean, shit. You know you're gonna go back and see it. I mean, considering I'm just gonna say it, the fucking Power Ranger at the end. I mean, what do we? I mean, what? I just there's gotta be an explanation, okay? And it better be a fucking massive one. I don't want to go into that movie and get like some vague explanation between dialogue for 5 minutes, and you got to really
Dude,
hone
I don't
in.
think you're gonna get the explanation you want. I don't think you will. I doubt you will. I think it's gonna
Well,
be,
now
again,
I
I don't
don't
wanna
know if this
spoil
is
it. Well, you already spoiled it. You already said Power Ranger, and I think it's sort of what we talked about when we talked about this movie after we saw it. I think
about the
it's
British thing. Only British
well,
people could
no,
pick
but I
up.
think it's also about, like, you have the scene at the very beginning of the movie, right? That's who this guy is grown up. This cult leader
Yeah.
is this kid from the beginning. And there's a scene in the beginning where all the kids are sitting around watching TV shows, right? When now they've created their own world and they're adults. Now, it is silly, I get it, but they've based their life partially on children's shows that they watched when they were younger, and that's why they are the way they are. And I don't think they're gonna explain that for you. I think they're just gonna leave that out there for
They
you to
gotta
think about.
explain it. Well, now, dude, honestly, I might go see it the day it drops because it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating that they did it this way. I mean, if you're a 28 Days fan, I know this is like what that's why it's called 28 years later, but it's you gotta explain that, Jacob. You can't not explain that.
Well, maybe wait till the second one's coming out, rewatch the first one. Maybe when you watch them both like that, you see the first one, then you see the one you haven't seen, it'll make a lot more sense.
Do you feel like
I
you
don't
have
know. I'm not saying that's definitely it. That's just my conjecture. That's just
I
my
just feel
opinion.
like if you're a fan of all the ones before, why like I get I gotta say it. Why try and fix what isn't broken? That's just all I'm gonna say. I mean, even some of the like the makeup and things were a little off for me. The scarecrowish vibe. I mean,
They're
I
going for a
just
different thing. they're going for a different thing.
It's
I mean,
different. It's completely different. Like, you don't have to be a fan of the originals to step into the theater and watch this. Like, that's not what this movie is appealing to. And I just find I like it, but it's like, why not just make something completely different? Why attach the name? I get it's the same guy. You get where I'm going? Am I
well,
making any
I mean,
sense?
yeah, no, I get where you're going. I think it could be as simple as the same conversation we've had before. What can they actually get made? And they're like, "Oh, this is
Right.
super popular, right? What can we make?" Well, we can make another 28 series, right?
Yeah.
And if we take that to the studio and it's good enough, we'll get the money, right? Whereas,
But
oh,
they
I've
made
got
it a
this
diff
other script that rocks, but for whatever reason, the studio doesn't want to back it right now.
I'm interested to see it. That's my hype train, guys. I'm January 16th. It's coming up. Same cast is going to be in it. It's just going to be a different director. So hopefully the new vibe sticks. I don't know why they would go with a different director. Maybe because of what happened in the first one. Maybe that was a couple of his decision making. I don't know. But Flicking Off, baby, episode 19 is in the books. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That's why we're doing this. We need the subs to keep it going, guys, not just the views. So if you've made it this far, if you're a new listener, if you dig the vibe, subscribe, drop a comment on iTunes, podcast app for us, Spotify. We're on both those platforms as well. The main episodes will be on YouTube, and we're going to link this movie somehow, some way, shape, or form to the next one that's coming up. And it is your job to guess it. Me and Jacob have $100 of this show's money on the line, and we are gonna give it to you however the fuck we want, just to keep in with the theme of what Flicking Off is all about. We're gonna choose something to link Savages to the next movie we do, and we're looking forward to it because it's gonna be episode 20. I think that's a big accolade for me and Jacob. I'd like to give a little round of applause for us, just so yeah. Cheers some more. Cheers some more. If you're driving, don't cheer. You might crash your vehicle, but don't. I'm really loving it, and we look forward to seeing y'all next episode, guys. This is Flicking Off.
Peace.